Dear Legacy, please excuse my balls. Welcome to Please Excuse My Balls, brought to you by Dear Legacy Sports. This is a show for everybody who just loves talking sports the real way. No scripts. Well, except for this one, it's only so I don't go on a tangent, I swear. I could easily go on a rant and might lose my train of thought and start scrambling to where I last left off. It gets awkward. You might not hit subscribe. You'll never return. And this is my first introduction to you guys, so I couldn't not script it a little bit. But I digress. Where was I at? So no scripts, no clickbait headlines, just real honest to God conversations from fans who care about the game. Starting this week, starting today, this isn't just another one of those network debate TV shows where they argue about the same two players and the same three teams for about 3 hours and then rinse and repeat the same three players and the same three teams with the show that comes on right behind them. So much has happened in the game of sports in any given night and any given day, and we just keep focusing on the same stuff. I'll probably fall victim to it as well. I'll probably talk about the same two guys and the same three people, or talk everything about Boston because, yes, I digress. But yeah, it happens. I get it. But this is about everything we love about sports. The games, the moments, the rivalries, the stories in between, the stories that are bubbling in the background and all that. Who likes who don't like who, and how's it going to affect the game, right? And honestly, how it connects to real life. Now, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I've played football my entire life, but I've never played at the highest level, clearly, right? I've never played basketball at the highest level. I've coached peewee, midgets, mighty mites football and introductory basketball, right? I've never done anything at the highest of levels of the people that I'll be talking about, right? But what I do know is I've been watching sports my whole life. I've loved these games my whole life. I don't know the ins and outs about building a roster and the ramifications of trades and second aprons and salary caps. And yes, all that's important, but it's all about the sports, and it's about what we care about, what made us fall in love with the game in itself, that favorite player that you follow, even if they go from team to team, and your hometown team, and you go crazy over them when they're doing something crazy, and you love them all the more so. And next week is gonna be your week, right? I've never been in war rooms. I'm not the legal guy. I'm not the finance guy and how to crunch down the numbers. I see the numbers that the same way you see them. I kind of understand some of it, and maybe some of it might make sense, and some of it just don't make sense because I'm a fan. Okay, there's certain people I don't want to see leave. Not never, but it is what it is. That's not how business works, right? But I do know this. I have eyes. They work, and I've got a few opinions that I'm just going to put out there into the atmosphere right here from this chair, or maybe from another chair, maybe from offsite, but always behind a mic up here in good old Massachusetts, unless I'm traveling. And yes, that's the second reference that I made. I am in Massachusetts. I'm from Boston. I'm a diehard fan of everything Boston. I was a fan before they were good. I was a fan when they transitioning, and I'll be a fan whether they go down off of a cliff as well. It doesn't matter. A fan's a fan. A fan's a fan. I digress. All this to say, I'm not an expert. I get it. But I'm just a real ass fan who loves the game and calls it how I see it, and knows when something just don't look right, in my little ass humble opinion. Because let's be honest, I can't play better than them. I can't coach better than them. I'm not a better executive. I don't even own a team, right? I don't know the ins and outs on how to make sure that this thing stays how it is. But sometimes fans, we're delulu. I'm just not as delulu as a Dallas Cowboy fan, or a New York Knicks fan, but I understand what I see and I get it sometimes, right? And one thing I'm never going to do, I'm never going to disrespect these games that I love so much by acting like I know it all. But to those that do own and those that are executives, if you're hiring, holla at me, because I do have a marketing background, and I do know a little something that could help. from a fan's perspective. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna critique and talk about the stuff from my level, a fan's level, right? And what makes this show relatable and is the fact that it's coming from a fan's perspective. We're covering anywhere from my two loves, the NFL and the NBA, and now the WNBA. My newfound love of golf has made me get so immersed in it, and I know a little something here or there. And yes, those guys are athletes too. Major League Baseball, I'm from Boston. I was born into that. You know what I mean? NHL, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, yo. I don't know hockey, but I could give you a score and I could get just as frustrated as the rest of them, especially when you're talking about my Bruins, because for some reason, when the Florida Panthers come to town, we just don't know what to do with ourselves. I don't understand it. That's our thorn in our side right now. We'll talk college sports as well, basketball and football, and throw a little tennis in there, right? If it's competitive, if it's buzzing, if it got the people talking, I'm going to cover it as best as I possibly can. We'll break down the storylines, look who's rising, who's falling, who's fighting for true legacy, right? From my definition, legacy. I don't know what LeBron thinks his legacy is going to be or what he's aiming for. But from my little humble opinion, that's what I'll say. Okay, he's working towards his legacy, whatever the case may be, because of X, right? We'll have fun with it all. We'll debate a little bit. We'll joke a little and keep the focus on what's happening on and off the field of play. Here's how this is going to work. Every Thursday, around 2-ish, you're going to get a new episode. Fresh episode every Thursday talking about the biggest stories of sports that week, the wins, the losses, the surprises, and everything in between. When the big games are on, I might tell you, come catch me on Twitch. Let's watch it together. Let's laugh, react, celebrate, get pissed off, and probably saying things that we're already thinking before it even gets into the chat. We'll also give you some weekly picks, some predictions, who's going to pull it off, who's going to fold, and what upsets might be happening. We'll talk playoffs, brackets, championships, and the GOATs, of course. I'm not a betting analyst. For sure not a betting analyst. But if you've been around the world of sports long enough, trust your gut, because I got mine. And again, if my fellow Boston-based betting company, DraftKings, come around, we talking bets too at that point. But this show isn't about overanalyzing everything. We're here to enjoy it. You'll get passion, humor, perspective, and maybe a few I told you so, because I'm good for that. Moments along the way. You know what I mean? When the team's hot, we're going to talk about it. When the team's trash, we're going to call it as is. And when something historic happens, we're going to give it the grace that it deserves. The goal is to make sports talk shows fun again and really talk about it from the fans' perspective. Something you can play in your car, at the gym, or just on in the background and feel like you're just chopping it up with your friend, your buddy, whoever it is that you talk sports with. And if you don't have somebody to talk sports with, I'm here. Let's talk together. Every now and then I'll bring people onto the show, friends, fans, maybe a few guests who've got something to say, athletes. I do want you to, but like I said before, DraftKings hasn't come to sponsor this yet, so the budget's a little tight. But if you got 2 minutes for free, give me a call. Slide into the DM, email me. I'm always available to talk shop. We're definitely going to talk. We're going to debate. We're going to break things down from different perspectives. Again, from the fans level. Not a pundit, not a writer, not a former athlete. Not saying that there's anything wrong from that, but the fans' perspective is different from the ones that played the game, the ones that write about the game, the ones that are next to the guy that they're actually critiquing. I'm not next to those guys like that. I want to be. I want to know what they're thinking, the real raw stuff, not the stuff that's, curated. Let's talk about it. It's all about good conversation, nothing forced, nothing staged. But don't worry, I'm always going to keep the main thing the main thing. It's always going to be about sports. That's the heartbeat of the show. Every now and then, we'll touch on how sports connects to real life, the business moves, the brand deals, and crossover moments that shape the culture, right? But I'll keep it real. I'm not diving into contracts, cap sheets. I'm here to talk about what the fans care about. Cap sheets and second aprons, that gets rid of your favorite players like a KP and a Drew Holiday. I get it. That's the business side of things. But hear our voices as the fans. We a little upset. We didn't want to see that happen, but we get it at the same time. Those of us that are not Delulu, we get it. But we're gonna talk about those type of things as well. The moments that make you text your boys and jump up out of your seat, right? Because even when sports hits culture, it's still about the love of the game. So that's why is Dear Legacy Sports, because sports are legacy. Every play, every shot, every story, it all builds towards something bigger. It's brewing towards that. When you walk away from this game, how are they remembering your name? This platform is about celebrating that. Please excuse my balls. This is where it all starts. A place where a fan could come, listen and talk about what's happening, laugh and cry about the madness, be angered by whatever their team's doing or the opposing team's doing, or even the referees have done to us that night, and remember why we love sports in the first place. So here's what to expect. I told you, every Thursday around 2-ish, dropping a brand new episode. Live watch shows sometimes. Let's talk about it in the moment. Weekly picks and predictions, big moments, big reactions, but most importantly, honest sports talks. If you love the game, any game, this is your show. The conversation starts now. So tap in, subscribe, like, follow, wherever these things are, wherever you listen. Every Thursday, we talk sports, culture, legends, and legacy. This is the new sports talk show. Please excuse my balls. Brought to you by Dear Legacy Sports. We're just getting started. See you on the next episode. So till then, please excuse my balls. Go debate yourself. I said what I said and I meant it.